Happy Sunday, everybody. Hopefully, you are off to a great start to the day here. It is about 11 a.m. here, first Sunday in August. Where did the year go? We are starting off the morning, you see here, with some clouds and a little bit of sunshine mixing in. Thankfully, all of the pesky fog we had earlier has cleared out. It cleared out just before about 9:30 this morning. I mean, it was really dense in spots. We had a dense fog advisory actually that was issued for parts of the area north of Mecklenburg County. Now, unlike yesterday, where were starting off around this time frame with some of those spotty storms already developing, we are actually dry so far on Doppler radar. Now, I am starting to see a few areas of light to moderate rain starting to push in toward the Camden area, over toward Bennettsville, just to our south and east. And those are going to be trying to slowly creep back into our area as we hit the second half of the day. You can see that, though, still dry on WCNC's Doppler radar. Now, today is going to be similar to yesterday in impacts, but lesser rainfall coverage. So hopefully that makes sense. So we were a little bit more numerous with the storms yesterday. Today, more scattered. So just less people will see storms, but the overall impacts are pretty similar. We will have pockets of heavy rain. There's so much atmospheric moisture right now. I mean, truthfully, if you could take all that moisture and put it in a sponge and just squeeze it out, it would be gross. I know Brad's been talking about this a lot this week, but we're really seeing the humidity level similar to what areas in South Florida would see. So this is above average. It is more humid of a summer than we're normally used to here in Charlotte. Now, other than the isolated heavy downpours leading to isolated flash flooding, there will be some frequent lightning, just like yesterday. And we do have some scattered wind gusts above about 40 miles an hour possible, but I do think we'll stay away from that severe criteria, which is just under 60 miles an hour. So no widespread downbursts expected today. So you'll see as we go hour by hour with Futurecast, we will see some of those scattered showers and storms, mainly as we get closer to about 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock, mainly toward the mountains and foothills. You'll see that better flash flooding potential today, kind of like what we had yesterday with a few flood advisories issued. But overall, I think today is really one of those typical August days, right? Scattered storms, about a 40% chance of rain, high temperature around 90, and we'll see those feels like temperatures in the upper 90s. Now, what you'll notice about this graphic is that we see those scattered storms today, we see them tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But look at Thursday. See how we spike at 60% and then drop to about 20 by Friday? This is because we are going to be watching the potential for dip in the jet stream, a cold front, storm system, whatever you want to call it, moving through the Carolinas and actually bringing us some big changes toward the end of the week. But as the storm system moves through, we know storm systems like that, cold fronts, typically do dump a decent amount of rain across the area. So we're going to be watching Thursday as likely our rainiest day. But if you keep up with anything in astronomy, you may be thinking, Brittany, that's also the peak day, Thursday into Friday, of not just the full moon, but the Perseid meteor shower. You would be correct. So the Perseid meteor shower peaks this coming Thursday and Friday, mainly Thursday night and into Friday morning. Now, this year is going to be a bit interesting. So here's Futurecast. This is the European model by midnight on Friday morning. And you can see that they're mostly clear. I mean, the clouds and the storms will be mostly cleared out by that point, at least according to this model. We have some time to watch it, but it does look like the conditions in terms of the weather won't be impacting you too much. However, because it coincides with the full moon, I talked to an astronomer at the South Carolina State Museum, their planetary manager, actually earlier this week. We had the story on WCNC Wake Up Charlotte weekend earlier, that the correlation of the full moon and the Perseid meteor shower is going to make Brad's #2 meteor shower of the year. His favorite is the Geminids, but this one's right behind it, much less visible. There have been years past where the Perseids can actually produce about 100 meteors per hour. Unfortunately, that's not going to be one of the years this year because of the full moon. The moonlight is going to allow for it to be less visible. So just wanted everyone to kind of have an early heads up about that, especially if you are a stargazer, you like to watch these meteor showers. It doesn't mean you shouldn't try, but it does mean that you should expect to see less than normal, especially if you live closer to the city. When you live in an area with light pollution from the city lights, you really would need to try to find your darkest area that you can. Now, of course, our entire viewing area is not just Charlotte. I mean, although a high percentage of folks who watch WCNC live in the metro, there are tons of places that you can go if you're willing to travel early Friday morning. I try to get away from some of that light pollution and some of that darkness. So if you really want to, you got to find that darkest place. Best time is going to be after midnight. and just before about 2 hours or so before sunrise, which will be likely about midnight to about 4 or 5 a.m. Right now, I am looking at a partly cloudy to mostly clear sky. And again, it's going to be less visible than normal because of that full moon. So let's talk about the full moon because I know a lot of folks like the full moon too, right? Maybe you don't care as much about the Perseid meteor showers you do about the full moon. And if you're curious actually to see my interview with the astronomer there from South Carolina State Museum, that is going to be available on our WCNC.com website and as well as the WCNC Charlotte mobile app. So the August full moon, it peaks this Thursday, August 11th at 9:35 p.m. Now, of course, I mentioned the impact of the Perseids. The moonlight's going to make the meteors a little bit more difficult to see. But what's pretty cool is it's actually also called the sturgeon moon. That's actually named after the North America's largest fish. I love to hear some of these fun facts, right, that we hear about these full moons. So again, the August full moon, it peaks this week, Thursday night. It is going to correlate with the Perseid meteor shower that peaks the same evening, and that full moon is going to impact your viewing. Now, something interesting the astronomer told me, and this is something that some of you might know, I just didn't. Not only we talked about, of course, the peak, we talked about that it's the comet Swift-Tuttle. That is the reason why we see this particular meteor shower. We talked about the fact that the meteor showers are named for the constellation that they kind of spin out from, but they're not. It is not caused by the Perseus constellation. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But what I thought was interesting was that I asked him, if there's any folks out there who don't, he said you don't need a telescope, you don't need binoculars. And I said, okay, well, so since this year is going to be so hard to see, what can folks do if they really want to help their impact, like their chances of seeing them? He said that honestly, buying the telescope, buying the binoculars is essentially useless with a meteor shower. It essentially does nothing. Sometimes folks can set up a camera and do like a long exposure, which I know the really talented photographers we have here in the Carolinas. I've seen some of those, but really getting binoculars, getting a telescope, it doesn't help, which I thought was interesting. So definitely something you don't want to buy because it's not going to help. So of course, we talked about the scattered storms the next few days. We talked about the higher rain chances on Thursday. We talked about how the clouds should clear out in time for the meteor shower, but that the full moon is going to impact visibility. So let's talk about my favorite part of the forecast. If you didn't watch this morning, this may be a bit of a surprise. I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but getting a little bit deeper here today. So this storm system, this cold front, is going to move through. Long-range models have been pretty consistent with the fact that this is not only going to drop our rain chances next weekend, Friday into the weekend, it'll drop the humidity. Look at this dew point map I showed you here. We're going from very humid to muggy all the way down to some flirting with refreshing, comfy. I'll take it after how hot and humid it's been lately. So we're dropping temps, we're dropping humidity levels, we're dropping rain chances, and we're going to see mostly sunny conditions likely Saturday and even into most of the day Sunday. So you'll see this reflected in our 7-day forecast as well as the 10-day forecast right here. And of course, over on our WCNC Charlotte mobile app where you can get the weather in that little weather tab, watch our live stream, all that good stuff. So look at this. I mean, the 90s, the scattered storms, we've seen it, right, a lot the past few weeks, especially. But look at that. Thursday, we will see temperatures in the mid to upper 80s, but this won't really be our cool day. The 80s will be because of more clouds and more rain. But look at Friday, about a 20% chance of rain, 86, mid 60s to start off the day on Saturday. 85 degrees, that forecast high, and that'll be low humidity. And I do expect that to at least continue into next Sunday. And then I was looking at the 10-day forecast this morning, and oftentimes when you get past 7 days with some of our model data, things trend toward the climatological normal. So things aren't as accurate, past the 7-day mark. However, the long range models are still hinting that we could see actually the early part of the following week even stay in the upper 80s. So I don't want to call that it's our last stretch of 90s of the year because I don't think it is, but I do think this is going to be a really nice overall change from what we've seen as of late. I've gotten a lot of tweets, a lot of Facebook messages, even a lot of emails talking about how hot and humid and all the rain that we've seen. And of course, it's the high levels of humidity that have allowed for all of our really heavy rain events. Even last night, I mean, think about last Saturday, what happened with the Charlotte Knights match there. So I think this is just going to be a really nice change. I hope you all enjoy it. If you do have plans to be outside on Thursday, I would keep a close eye on the forecast. As we get closer to the event, we'll know more so. Is this going to be a morning rain event? Will it be a nighttime rain event? Will things clear out, for example, by anything you got going on late in the evening? practice. I know a lot of the kids aren't back in school yet, but I know when I was a kid, we started kind of those like soccer practices, things like that a little bit earlier before school started. So if you have anything going on, you just want to keep an eye on the forecast for Thursday. But at least for now, I think if you have plans Friday, Saturday, and even next Sunday, you will be good to go. So again, just to sum this up, storms, hot and humid now through Wednesday. Scattered storms, higher rain chances Thursday, drop in temps, drop in humidity, drop in rain chances next week. And it does look like the full moon, which peaks on Thursday, is going to at least slightly, if not significantly, impact your viewing of the Perseid meteor shower Thursday night and into Friday. Of course, we got more all coming up this week. I'm doing another story on the Perseids. Our very own chief meteorologist, Brad Panovich, loves these meteor showers. We'll be talking about it too. So tune in this week. Download that WCNC Charlotte mobile app to get all the latest forecasts and, of course, have all of our weather data in the palm of your hand. And I hope you have a great first Sunday in August and a great second week in August starting tomorrow. I will be back tomorrow morning, actually, once again on Wake Up Charlotte weekend or Wake Up Charlotte during the week, doing traffic and midday weather with Larry Sprinkle, Ben Thompson, and Sarah French. See you guys then. Have a great day.